Hello and welcome to Andy's Cornish Creations. In this video I'm going to be doing a 5-minute wizard that takes 15 minutes. I'm using a piece of basswood and it's 5 inches long by 1 inch by 1 inch, and I've cut it on the across the diagonal to give a triangular piece. Here I'm marking 2 inches from the top and then another inch down, so nice simple measurements. Here I'm just squaring, putting a square line using my finger at the top there, as you can see, just to give me a little gauge. Coming down another 1/4 of an inch, just slightly under a quarter, and joining the 2 lines together to give a slope, an angle, and that's going to be the brim of the hat. It's just sloping back slightly. The other mark is the bottom of the nose. So I've got my knife and I'm just taking those sharp edges off, just to make it a bit more comfortable to hold. This is a Tom Hines 5-minute wizard. He originally did it, and I've also taken inspiration from Gene Messer and Doug Linker, who have both done them, and I haven't yet seen anybody do it in 5 minutes. So this is, I'm going to call it the 15-minute wizard. Here I'm taking the knife and I'm using just a stop cut and a push cut up to the stop cut to create the underside of the hat, and come in at just taking a little bit at a time. You can cut the whole way across like I'm doing there, but as a beginner, much better if you just take your time and just do it little cuts at a time. Working my way across there, and then I'll do a final cut across the whole thing, and there we are. This is a pull cut, and I'm just using my thumb there on my left hand just to control the cut. So I'm not dragging it towards. It's a very controlled movement, and much safer done like that. Take that sharp front edge off, and then I just take a little bit more off the front there, just to give me a bit more room to round the front of the hat there. Now I'm just working down the top up to a point, not a sharp point, but just making it thinner up at the top there. I'm taking some quite large chunks off here just to try and speed it up, but just take your time, and there's no rush to do this. It's take it easy and enjoy it rather than rushing. I'm trying to keep it as quick as possible, just for the sake of the video. Here I've got pretty much the point, not quite, just down a little bit from the point of the knife, and I'm doing a little sweeping cut. So it's just turning it as I go in, and it just gives it a little sweep, and it gives the impression of a brim on the hat. And now I'm just tidying it up and getting it nice and even, but still maintaining some of those facets that make it look hand carved still. So there we go, and it's just turned over slightly at the top, turned over slightly to the left. Just adjusted the light slightly on the. It's very tricky to get the light right with these carvings. Here I'm just doing the underside of the nose, so a stop cut in, and then coming up with a push cut to the to take out that chip. And here, just going up to the brim of the hat, and that's going to be our nose, and also the forehead up at the top there. So that's the line of the eyebrows. Again, stop cut, and then coming up to it from the bottom. And that's the nose created there. So I've keep drawing the centre line on. It does help keep things lined up and balanced. So here, about a bit under 1/4 of an inch to each side will be the width of the nose, and I'm trying to line down from just off the centre down to the edge of the nose, and then the eye line across, and then I'm creating a little triangle, and that's going to be a triangular cut, nice and simple. But the trick is to go in here straight. Don't cut into the nose, just go in straight, and go nice and deep at the top of the eye there, and the bottom should line up roughly with the bottom of the nose, and then pop that triangle out. It's not always that easy, and sometimes it takes a couple of attempts to get that depth, but it's nice if you can do it in one, because you finish up with fewer cut marks. If you take several attempts to do it, you can finish up with a lot of little cut lines in the sides of the nose or the eye, and it's difficult to get rid of them. So it's worth practicing and try and do it in one if possible. So there you go. You got the eyes and the nose laid out pretty much. I'm just going to take a bit of timber off the sides of the head. We don't want the head sticking out at the sides of the hat, and just tidying it up there. Here I'm going to draw the top of the mustache. So come out more or less square, and then turn it round, and then into the side. Here I'm using my finger as a gauge, and draw a line at the bottom of the mustache, bring it round to the other side, and you make the same mark on the other side, so that again I'm just trying to keep everything balanced, and then come in and try and replicate that mustache on the other side. Here I'm going to put a little triangular cut at the side of the nose to give us a bit of depth. So I'll go in with the very point of the knife down the side of the nose, and then across the top of the mustache, and then pop out that little triangle to give it some depth at the side of the nose there. So straight in, side of the nose, top of the mustache, and then pop that triangle out there. Again, try and do it in one if you can, but don't worry if it don't work out. You can take it out bit by bit if you like. And I'm trying to get a reasonably deep cut in there, and I use the I rest it on the sort of table, so keep it nice and firm. And here we're doing a long V cut, so going in at a slight angle so that it takes out a V there, and pop it out. Same at the other side. I'm using the table to rest the piece on, keep it safe, got my fingers well out of the way, and again a long V cut. I'm going in again just to try and get a little bit of extra depth, and then taking out that V, and there you go, it pops off. And that's the top of the mustache. So I want to bring down the face a little bit so that so it looks like the mustache is sticking out from the face and growing out from the face, and just tidying up any sharp lines, and getting rid of any of the saw marks from the wood. Here I decide that I just want the eye a little bit wider, and I sort of turn it slightly, the eyebrows, so to just turn it, the top of the eye, just turn it down slightly. So there you can just see me just turning the knife slightly down, so that the top of the eye comes down at the side slightly. So back, and just taking the sides of just taking the face down a little bit, so that the mustache sticks out. Here, I'm having a bit of trouble with the grain. You've got to be careful. You've got to try and go with the grain all the time. Sometimes if it looks like it's going to start to dig in, take the knife out and try it in a different angle to get a nice smooth cut. All the time I'm looking at the face and trying to balance each side so that they both look the same. I'm just rounding up the mustache and taking off. You see there, I've got a little bit where I had to make the two cuts, so I finished up with a little bit that needs to come out. So cleaning up the mustache, take off that sharp top edge, just round it over slightly, and get rid of the saw cuts on the wood. Same on the other side, just rounding it over with a pull cut. Again, using my thumb to guide it. Just tidying up the sides, and taking that back to leave the mustache sticking out a bit, and then rounding off the mustache a little bit. Here I'm drawing in where the bottom of the mustache is, and the mouth, and just sort of giving the impression of the mustache here. So I'm not going all the way down with this cut, but I'm going in deep with this one, because I want a nice bit of shadow in there. So I'm going point of the knife, sticking it in deep, and just bringing it down a little bit, and then I can pop that cut out. If it doesn't come out, just stick the end of the knife in there, and deepen it until it pops out. There we go. And then I can take the beard down. I'm going to take it down to a point. You could round it at the bottom, or I do like to take them down to not a sharp point, but a point nonetheless. And with this one, you'll be able to see in a second. I just double check the hat's going off to the sort of left hand side. So what I do is I like to take the beard to the opposite direction. So the beard's swinging round slightly to the right hand side, and it's more of a balanced look that way. Just tidying up the bottom of the nose there, and taking any sharp edges off the mustache. That was Ivy having a little bark at something. Taking the sides of the nose up slightly at each side at the bottom there. Just turning them up and just tidying things up a little bit at the bottom. I'll take the it's a sharp point on the end of the nose there, so just rounding that over slightly, and then putting a little swoop cut with the end of the knife, just to swoop up the nose, and then tidy up the sides, and just rounding it off there with a little swoop cut again. I've given a little bit extra depth to the eyes there, so just right in the corner there, jab the knife in at the top, down the side of the nose, and then just pop out that with creating a little triangle. Just pop it out and just gives it a little bit of depth and creates some shadow. Yeah, I'm just taking out the pencil line and just giving that little swoop cut again, just to tidy things up, and it gives the impression of eyebrows. And tidy up the bottom of the hat. Same on the other side, just a little swoop cut. Then tidy up the bottom of the hat, and then I'm just rounding off that sharp edge at the top of the eyes where the eyebrows are, and here I decide to put a bit of the impression of the hair on the side, so I'm using my finger again to guide the pencil and keep it even on both sides, and then hold it with the piece down on the deck, and again doing one of those V cuts. So I go in and I put a little here. I put a little stop cut at the top and the bottom, so that when I come back with the other side of the cut, hopefully it'll just pop out, and there it goes. If you've got a V tool, you could use a V tool or a very small U gouge, and then just tidy up the sides so that take off the sharp edge where the face is. Again, go in a little stop cut at the bottom there, stop cut at the top, and then come down to create a long V cut. There I go back into the cut, so I just have to come back a little bit and try and keep it nice and even. There it pops out there. Struggling a bit with that bottom one, but there it comes. And then just take away that sharp edge. And there we are. And I think that's about it. You can go around and finesse it a bit, but basically that's your 15-minute wizard done. Okay, to get to that 15-minute wizard, I've gone through that one, which was okay. That one, not bad, but not so good. That was an old one I did that I sort of got it from. That one, I tried out that method, decided that I didn't like it, and used the same piece and just tried it at the other end to try a different way. And then that one there that I quite liked, and that one that's a little bit wonky but not too bad, and but it's a little bit strange on the sides of the head. So I think that one's a relative success for the time. Obviously, spending more time, you can be able to tweak it and add a little bit more character to it and what have you. But I don't think he's a bad result, and he's a nice, simple whittle. I've used one, I can't remember the name of the knife, so it's a cheap knife, but it sharpens up well, and as long as I keep it stropped regularly, it cuts really quite nicely. And if you do try this, then I would definitely get a strop and some of this green, I forget what they call it, stropping compound, and of course the gloves. I never do anything without the gloves now, whittling wise. It's just it just makes sense to wear them. It's just as easy to wear them as not. Yeah, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it the thumbs up, subscribe, and share if you can, and leave a comment. That would be great. And there's a couple more there I can show you that are on the side. And my little gonks, hillbillies rather, that I quite like to make as well. Yeah, so thanks for watching. My name's Andy Paramore, this is Andy's Cornish Creations, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.